One of the most detrimental beliefs that a woman can have in her love life is actually the belief that because you have been hurt in the past, it means that you must not be capable of being loved. It is to believe that because you have been not chosen by men or been cheated or betrayed or rejected in the past in your relationships, because of it, therefore, you must not be able to attract the love of your life, attract the kind of man who actually treats you in the way that you want. And the reason why this type of belief is actually really toxic is because it only keeps you perpetuating more in the cycle of hurt. It makes you identify with that small self, the separate self, who is not deserving of love, who believes that she is somehow cursed in love, or that she is not good enough for love. And the truth is that that type of belief actually doesn't serve anything, but instead it only makes you further perpetuate the cycle of being hurt in terms of relationships, rather than attracting the love of your life, the man of your dreams. And in this video, I want to actually debunk that myth and actually takes you to truth about how the truth is you are actually able to attract the love of your life, the man of your dreams, especially if you have been hurt in the past. The truth is when you have been hurt in the past, the truth is it actually has the potential, it actually has the power to activate that part of you who makes love happen, who creates love, who is deserving of love. And in fact, that was what happened to me in my love life in the past, where because I have been hurt by men, because men have broke me and I have been hurt because of it, that activated something in me, it initiated something in me, and that allowed me to attract the man of my dreams, to attract my loving husband. And in this video, I want to share with you how you can do that too. Just like many of the clients that I have supported, where they have gone from attracting painful relationships to attracting the man of your dreams, the love of your life. And if that is what you're desiring, you can also check out the free consultation session where you find out the exact hidden block that is needed to shift in order to transform in your love life. So with that being said, now let's get into the video. So the first thing that you need to realize if you want to attract the love of your life, the man of your dreams, is to first understand that you don't attract someone just by wanting them. You don't attract a devoted, caring man just by wanting it. Of course, yes, wanting is a part of it. Desiring something is a part of it. But what actually is more important is if you are actually capable of receiving it. And the truth is that when you are attracting a man into your life, the man is actually just a mirror. He's just a mirror to what you experience inside of you. So what does that mean? It means that a man is a mirror. He's just an external representation of the love that you experience within yourself, the love that you are capable of giving and receiving onto yourself. So here is you, and what you need to understand that the man that you're attracting into your life, he's just a mirror. So when you want to change the image inside a mirror, what do you need to do? You need to change what's here, right? You need to change how you look if you want to see different image in the mirror. And the same way, if you want to attract a different type of man, if you want to attract the love of your life, the man with the dream qualities that you've always wanted, you need to shift what is right here, what is within you, what is inside of you. And the truth is that this is actually the only thing that you need to change. Most women, when it comes to attracting men, we think that we try to fix him. We use our focus all on him. And we think that if we convince him, if we try to force him, or if we wait for him, then he will change. That's what most of us are used to thinking. But what you need to realize is that that change needs to happen in you. It needs to happen right here first. And for that change to be lasting, you need to create that change right here. And when you change what's here inside of you, when you shift the love that you are capable of holding inside of you, the man who is also capable of giving that love to you will arrive into your life. After all, he is just a mirror reflection of what is inside of you. And I know you may be wondering, well, what do you mean by love within myself? Because it sounds so vague or sounds so woo, right? And that is the problem, because when it comes to love, many women think that love is something that we get from another person. When we start thinking about love, we think that it's only something that we can get from a man. But what the truth is, that what you need to understand is that the truth is love is actually just a form of energy. And yes, you're thinking about the energy that you're going to be receiving from him, like love, the energy that you want to receive from him. But the truth is that just because you know the type of love that you want, it doesn't mean that you're actually capable of holding that energy. So you can think of love in terms of a cup. So if you want water, if you want love, which is like a form of water to in your life, you need to be able to hold that water. So you need to have the cup in order to receive it. And the same way, if we want that specific type of love from a man, we need to have the capacity to hold that exact type of love that we are wanting to receive from him. And the problem is that for many women, we know the type of men that we want to attract. For example, we want to attract that type of caring, devoted, and consistent, and reliable, or loyal, honest, whatever these qualities are, we know them in general. However, we never actually have the experience of actually going through them. We actually don't have the reference of what it means to actually experience them. So as an example, so for instance, right now with my husband is very decisive, right? And that is one of the qualities that I love about him, that he is very confident, decisive, masculine, in that he knows himself, he knows what he's capable of, he's confident in his action, and it's something that I find very attractive about him. However, in my teenage years or early 20s, in my early college years, I wanted a man like that. However, I was not capable of being loved by that type of person at all. Because what was actually going on inside of me is that I was very insecure. I doubt myself a lot. I was worried of how I look, what people perceive of me. I had low self-worth. I felt like I wasn't good enough at school, good enough for men. So I felt really insecure inside. And because of it, even if a confident man like my husband was to come into my life, back then, if I have met him earlier than when we have met, I wouldn't have been able to attract him into my life, because deep down what was going on was that I didn't feel worthy of having his attention. I didn't feel worthy of being with someone like him. In other words, I didn't have the capacity to receive the exact type of love that I was looking for. And this is the thing that stops many women from attracting the partner of their dreams. It's because, yes, in your mind, you mentally know what you want, but deep down in your body, you don't feel safe to receive that type of love. And the same thing goes for other type of qualities. So for instance, if you think of a man, if you're looking for a man who is emotionally available, they are very attentive to your feelings, and they are emotionally intimate with you, right? You can connect with them. So emotional intimacy, let's say that this is the type of quality that you are looking for in a man. But if you are someone who is afraid of going into the emotions, if you're someone who is afraid of being vulnerable, if you are someone who rejects abandons her own emotions, does not listen to her own emotions, right? If you are neglecting your own emotions, even if a guy who is very emotionally intelligent and emotionally available was to speak to you and connect with you, you're going to feel uncomfortable being around him. You're going to be nervous around him. and that energy is going to be repelling him. And so, even though you want an emotionally intimate partner, because you are not capable of receiving that type of partner in your life, you're not going to be attracting him. Either you're going to sabotage the potential of that relationship, or he would not be interested in you because we aren't a match for that type of quality yet, right? So it can happen in any of the ways that do not work out. The same way, let's say that you're wanting a type of man who is consistent with how he shows up. Maybe he's consistent with planning for dates, or maybe he is consistent with sending you good morning and good night texts. But if you are someone who is never consistent on her plans, or who doesn't show up on time, right? Even though the man is showing up, even though he is consistent, because we don't have the capacity to hold it, because we don't have the traits that are a match for it, then the relationship is not going to work out. If either we have trouble showing up on time, or we have trouble being consistent, let's say with ourselves, with how we treat ourselves, how we treat our own emotions. So that means that even if you're wanting this consistent man, because you're not consistent in the way that you treat yourself, right? If you are not consistent there, then you're going to have a hard time asking for that type of action from a man, or there's going to be some friction involved in showing up. Things don't go smooth. And all of this, which is to say that just because you want a man with certain quality, the man of your dreams, doesn't mean that we have the capacity to receive that type of quality, receive that type of love. And if we are to receive that type of man, in fact, the only thing that we need to do is to increase that capacity that we have for love, the love that we're looking for. That is our only job. That's what you need to understand, is that when you have the capacity for it, when you have prepared the capacity, when you have expanded your capacity, the universe, life, God will bring the right person into you. You will be comfortable being around that type of person. You will feel safe meeting these type of people. You will attract these type of people because now your energy field, your capacity has now expanded to be worthy, to be capable of holding that type of love that you desire. All of that is to say, when you want your dream man, your life partner, when you have the dream man with certain qualities that you want, it is actually not enough to just list out the qualities. Of course, that's the first step to attracting that type of person. But if we want to actually feel comfortable holding him, receiving him, accepting him, if we are to become a match for that type of man, we actually need to embody the qualities that we want in him. We want to embody that ourselves. So that doesn't mean that you become a replica of him. That doesn't mean that you become the man, but rather it's a question about if you are treating yourself in the same way that you would want your dream man, your dream person to treat you. Remember, it is an inner relationship. It is an inner journey, the inner capacity for love. Only when you have the capacity to love yourself in the way that you want him to treat you, only then you can actually attract and be with that type of man in your external life. In other words, he's just an external mirror, an external reflection of the way that you are treating yourself inside of you. So then I know that you may be asking, okay, but how about if I have been hurt in the past, right? Because it's easy to say that you just embody these qualities that you're looking for in a man, but if you have been hurt in the past, the thing is that at times it leaves you with pain, it leaves you with trauma, it leaves you with that hurt, that wound, and it makes you feel as though you are actually not deserving or worthy, or that it is hard to trust that there is that type of man that you want available out there. It can make love really scary. It can become muddy waters. And so the thing is that the key here is whenever we get hurt by a man, a person, right, a relationship in the past, what you need to understand is that it can actually go one or either of the two ways. So remember what I said earlier about expanding your capacity to love. If you want to receive that certain type of love from a man, we need to expand our capacity to receive that type of love from him. But what happens whenever we're hurt is that instead of expanding, one of the things that can happen is that it can actually shrink our capacity to receive that type of love. So let's say, for example, you want a type of man who is really reliable, who is trustworthy, right? That is your desire. But then if you get hurt because you've been betrayed, you've been cheated on, you've been lied to, if you've been hurt in the past, what actually ends up happening is that instead of expanding your capacity, instead of making space to have that type of man who is trustworthy, who is reliable, rather than that, we shrink further into our pain. We shrink further. We shrink our capacity to give and to receive love. So our capacity to give and receive love, it becomes tiny. It becomes contracted. So that means, for example, if you've been hurt, that means anytime that you're with a man, you're with a partner, you're going to be hyper vigilant because you're afraid that they might do something like that again. They might hurt you again. You might be fearful. You might be anxious. You might be overthinking or accusing of the other person, right? So for instance, let's say even if a man who is actually honest, trustworthy, and reliable comes into your life, because our nervous system has been in that state of fight or flight. Our nervous system is in that state of protection mode because of the pain, because of the hurt that we felt in the past. So rather than expanding our capacity to give and to receive love from him, rather than that, we're gonna be overthinking on what he is doing, right? Whenever he's not around, is he hooking up with someone else? We're gonna be having fearful thoughts like that, right? It's gonna be hard for you to trust essentially anyone. Why? Because our capacity to give and to receive love, it has shrunk. And this is the root of why, if you've been hurt in the past, if you've been wounded in the past, the reason why it's hard for you to attract your life partner, attract the man of your dreams, is because of this. This is the real reason of why, no matter how much we want, no matter how much we do the wishing and wanting and listing out all the qualities that you want from a man, it's hard for you to receive that type of love because our capacity to receive that type of love, it has shrunk. However, this doesn't actually have to be the case. Just because you've been hurt in the past doesn't mean that your capacity to receive love has to shrink. It doesn't mean that you cannot attract the love of your life. Instead, the truth is that when you are hurt, the truth is that it can actually also do the opposite of it. It's just a matter of how we go about our pain, how we go about our wound, our trauma, our hurt, our rejection. The thing is that the way on how you go about it, the way on what you see in it, it changes everything. Because the truth is that actually, when you are hurt, there is also an alternative way where, because you've been hurt in the past, you are actually more capable of receiving love. And how do you do that? We do that by expanding your nervous system, expanding your capacity to receive love. So you can almost see as though it is like a balloon. Think of a balloon, right? Whenever you're trying to blow air into a balloon, and let's imagine that you got stuck by it. And so at first it may seem like there is a shrinking happening, but then the truth is, because the balloon shrank, right? The balloon loses the air. Because of it, now when you blow air again, now the balloon can hold more air because the rubber is looser. It's kind of similar to that. As an analogy, this is to say how when you've been hurt, although it may shrink you for the first time, it may shrink you. The thing is that what hurts you, it's almost like this quote, what hurts you actually make you stronger, right? And then the same thing, even though your capacity to love, receive love may shrink for a while, it can actually also expand you. So in other words, you become even more available for love. In other words, when you have been hurt in your love life, the truth is that it can also expand your ability to love and be loved even more. So how does that look like? For example, let's go back to the earlier scenario, the example of a guy cheating on you or a guy lying on you, right? So instead of shrinking our ability to trust someone, instead of shrinking our nervous system, shrinking our ability to give and to receive love, rather than that, we can actually strengthen more of our sense of trust. We can actually expand our capacity to give and to receive love. So that doesn't mean you're going to be walking around blindly trusting men. So it means that because your trust in men, right, in your past ex or a lover, that trust has been broken. Because of it, now you get to discover what you can actually trust more. So instead of trusting on men, you're going to be trusting something that is bigger than that. You can call that God, life, universe, right? Now you're going to be in the search for something that is capable of holding you and loving you even more. And this is how you expand your capacity to love and be loved in a way that you desire. Or another example, when I had been rejected by men in the past, when a guy didn't like me back because of how I looked, or because he said that I was not his type. Because of that pain of not being chosen, because of the pain of not being loved, the pain of being rejected, because of it, now I get to find the love that never rejects me, that is always there for me, that always accepts me. And what is that love? It is the love of God, the love from the universe, the love that is something bigger, right? So all of that is to say that when we get hurt by men, by our past relationships, the thing is that it can either hurt us, it can either shrink us, it can disconnect us further from love, or it can actually be used as a way to connect us further to the love that is actually bigger, to the type of love that we are actually wanting and desiring. And this is how you attract your dream lover, the man of your dreams, especially when you have been hurt, you have been betrayed, you have not been chosen by the past man. When you have been hurt, the thing is that it is still possible to find love. In fact, it makes you even more capable to receive that type of love if you choose a different way of going about that situation that hurted you, the pain that hurted you, the love that wounded you. Now you're able to discover something even more. And that, my love, is how you attract the love of your life, the man of your dreams, when you didn't know, when you haven't had the experience that it is possible. My love, if this video resonates with you and you want to find out the exact hidden shift that will transform your love life in a way that is uniquely personal to you, book a free one-on-one session. The link is in the description box below.